Welcome to DAPS Magic Live. I'm Mr. DAPS, and I am ridiculously echoey because I can hear Katie's. And tonight we're going to try again for underrated Disney movies that are animated. And so this is going to be an adventure that we have not done before, and we're trying new technology. And I am texting everybody, and I can hear myself. This is fantastic. I am ridiculously echoey. I don't even know where I'm hearing myself from. This is fun. There we go. And so I think it's working now. And we are going to talk about underrated Disney animated films. Haley, you get to kick things off this time.
I get to kick things off now.
You get to start it off, and I will send out the tweet for where this is at.
All right. For those of you who couldn't hear me before, which was everyone, I chose The Emperor's New Groove because I thought that at least like in the past we didn't talk about it, and now like it's coming back, making a comeback. But I still feel like in general pretty underrated, and I think it's hilarious and great and deserves more recognition.
And who would you say is the best character in it?
Kronk.
Right. First off, does everybody agree that this should be considered an underrated Disney film? And then second, animated film. And then second, who is your favorite character in it? Let's go from Tyler can go first, and then we'll go farthest to nearest.
Favorite in the movie? I really like Cusco. He's really funny, and his character growth is fantastic, so can't beat it.
Okay. Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh, we're fine. It's working.
There we go.
We're good. I was like, it's not working. Yes, it is. We're good. Okay. Mikey, favorite, go.
My favorite, that's a tough one. But I would say Kronk is my favorite character. I just love that lovable idiot kind of thing going on that he has, and I identify with him more than anybody else, to be honest with you.
I like it. Awkward delay.
Okay, so Brian, how about you next?
I don't know. Mikey kind of stole mine. I was going to say Kronk as well. Just that squeakers, and just the way that he just kind of breaks that fourth wall and all the fun stuff with that. How did we get hurt? First, he just pulls out that thing and says, by all accounts, it just doesn't add up. But there they are, and they just keep moving forward. I love that kind of thing.
And he speaks multiple languages. Cameron, go for it.
I like the one guard who tells the old man that he has thrown off the Emperor's Groove, because he is obviously more intelligent than his station dictates, and with one line has more character progression than most of the others in the film.
Good point. And Katie?
Teacher.
Do you want to add to it, or you just said it?
She's a strong mother who is pregnant during the film, and she means business.
That is true. She wins in that regard. I'm going to go with Kronk too, just because he's ridiculous and he speaks multiple languages. And honestly,
the poison. Cusco's poison.
Yeah, you can never have too much Kronk unless it's in that other movie that wasn't so good. But that's okay. So, Katie, what would you say is your underrated film?
Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the Robinsons. Keep going. Why?
It is one of the first Disney films that I remember seeing in theaters, and it means a lot to me. It's super heartfelt. Everyone remembers it as the dinosaur movie of like, I've got a big head and little arms.
Can you hear Katie okay, everybody?
She's quiet.
I think so too.
She's quiet, but I can hear her.
Okay, keep going. Sorry. I just want to make sure they heard you.
I truly cannot focus.
Okay.
Can you hear me better now?
Are you muted?
Yeah, because you told me to.
Oh, unmute while you're talking.
Everyone yelled at me to mute myself.
Keep going. Now, talk more about this.
1,000 times better.
Anyway, Meet the Robinsons is a really great movie, and it means a lot to me.
And your favorite character?
Franny.
Oh, I don't even know the shoot.
All right, Haley, who's your favorite character? And does everybody agree Meet the Robinsons is an underrated Disney animated film?
Well, yes.
Why are you all weak?
I don't know. I'm going away.
I don't feel good, Mr. Stark.
Did you happen to go back to the future recently? Because wow.
Well, you know.
Anyway, I don't know if I have necessarily a favorite character because I haven't seen the Meet the Robinsons in a really long time. That's how underrated it is that I don't even watch it.
Okay. That actually is a completely legitimate statement, I think. Tyler, do you have one, or do you?
do.
Okay, go for it.
Michael Yagubian or Goob, you know,
Yeah.
bowler
Bless
hat
you.
guy. Because like,
love
come
Goob.
on, he's great, and also plot twist partway through. Love it. It's great.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Mikey?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Haley because I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So yeah, I'm not really sure who I would say is my favorite.
Okay, Cameron.
The bowler hat.
That is the correct answer. Thank you, Brian.
Ding ding.
I saw it once a long time ago, but I seem to remember I really liked the way the main character just explored and enjoyed stuff, but I don't even recall his name exactly. Katie, what is it again? And don't hate me for not remembering.
No, I do hate you.
You better unmute.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Okay. You
I'll just
stay
go
on,
away.
on mute. Okay. You're not going to give him his name?
No.
Okay, you don't get the name. All right. How
Just
about
off to look it up.
for an underrated Disney animated film? Go, Mikey.
I would say my choice for most underrated would be Oliver and Company.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. That was one of the first animated movies that I remember falling in love with the soundtrack for. And I also think that it's an interesting take on the Oliver Twist story. So I think that's why I would consider it as my pick for most underrated.
Excellent choice. I 100% agree with you on that. It's one, is that Billy Joel that they used for that music? Is that what I remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Joel.
That is correct.
Okay. I agree with you on that one. Who's got a favorite character? I actually don't have a favorite character because I can't tell you I've seen it that many times. Katie?
Definitely Tito, if I can jump in, because Tito
Please
is
do,
Cheech
Cameron.
Marin. Cheech Marin plays Tito, and it's the best.
Okay. Tyler?
I don't remember any of their names besides Oliver, so. But I do remember Tito's character being funny, so I'm gonna agree with that one.
Okay, good. Haley?
I don't remember the movie very much either, but I remember liking the
Who
poodle,
are
which is
you?
Georgette, right?
Ooh, Gigi.
Well, and we got a really good photo op with it at Disneyland After Dark.
Yes. Oh God, wrong way. Well,
Oh.
but yes,
Mm-hmm.
that was the winner.
That was
Go back to
very
Batu.
much a winner.
Back to Batu.
You know, the sausages in that, I remember the sausages looking far too delicious in that film.
Yeah.
Clouds.
Sausages.
Yes,
Well, it's
we
like the
all
mouse with
agree.
the cracker. Was that Aristocrat?
Yes. No, that's
Oh.
no, that's Robin Hood. Is that Robin Hood? Might be Robin
Maybe,
Hood.
but you know which one I mean.
Yes, the little communion wafer.
Hmm.
Okay. Who hasn't gone? Brian, did you go?
No, I didn't. But
All right, you're
my
up.
favorite has to be Dodger. He's just, that kind of wild spirit and everything, but he ends up having that heart inside of him that he cares for Oliver and helps Oliver out.
There you go.
I think they all have hearts inside of them, hopefully.
Anybody else have a
Yeah, his
favorite
is a good
character
one.
that I've missed?
Well, who's your favorite?
I'm gonna go with Dodger also. Mainly because he's the main one I remembered besides Oliver.
He's so artful.
He's memorable.
All right, that was a good choice, Mikey. How about Brian? Favorite obscure or underrated animated Disney film?
The one that came to my mind as underrated was Rescuers Down Under. So that sequel to The
Oh, yeah.
Rescuers.
Excellent soundtrack.
I really like that. Yeah, that's part of what it is. That soundtrack's amazing, particularly that early part when he's riding the eagle, Marahute, who would also be my favorite character because who doesn't like a giant eagle that gives the kid a ride with the great montage. But it's just a fun movie that, he's out in the middle there and, don't do poaching.
That's the moral of the story. Don't poach. How about-
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go across the top of the screen for this. One, do you agree it's an underrated Disney animated film, Mikey? And two, who's your favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Again, it's one of those movies I haven't seen in a long time, but I would have to say, what was I can't remember the name, but it was the lizard sidekick,
Joanne.
Joanna.
Joanna. That was
yes.
it.
Joanna
Yeah,
is pretty funny.
absolutely. Yeah, that was
That's a
definitely
good
my
character.
favorite character.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Who would like to go? Let's see who's next. Cameron, you're next.
Miss Bianca, definitely.
Mm.
That's Eva Gabor, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic character and just energetic and full of life.
Okay. Very, very good. We'll skip over you, Brian. Katie, you're next.
I've never seen it.
What?
What?
Ooh.
That's a
It's
good reason. I
Probably going to
guess.
be an ongoing theme tonight. I haven't seen a lot of movies.
All right, Tyler,
Disney-
redeem us.
But at least I
Um,
looked up Lewis, so I know the name for you. Now you
Hey,
have to watch it so you can know mine.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I was also gonna say the lizard, Joanna, but also the eagle, pretty important to the movie. You know.
Yeah, Marahute.
Yeah.
That is true. And Haley?
I will be more on Katie's side and say I'm pretty sure I've only seen it like once, and I don't know.
I think it's on
But at least
Disney
you've seen
Plus.
it.
We
But
could
I
do
have
a,
seen it.
we could do a viewing. We could do exactly this and
could.
not show the TV, and people could start it at the same time of us.
Mr. Depps, you said that with the same energy of we could have a wake. Like,
Yeah,
just-
you know. Well, we thought we were starting this at like 8, so you know.
Here we are.
It's 8 o'clock.
That is
somewhere,
true.
it's fine.
I'm gonna go with McLeach just because I think he's a great villain, and
Mm.
and I love what's his name, Scott. Is that his name? That plays George C. Scott. Is that right? That plays McLeach.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, yeah.
Hoping somebody knows.
Don't know.
I think it's George C. Scott who plays Patton in the movie Patton, and he's got a fantastic voice. And the other character I would pick is the soundtrack by Bruce Broughton, which is awesome also.
Great character. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, Cameron, pick your underrated Disney animated film.
Gee, guys, I don't know what I'm gonna pick. It's gonna be so hard. It's yeah, it's so
Does
weird.
it take place in Paris?
You know, it might, but that doesn't narrow it down necessarily, does it?
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, it's Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's the
That's
best
what I
film ever.
thought you were gonna pick.
Ew.
I don't know what you thought. Cameron wouldn't pick that.
Gosh, that was my choice.
And the show is over. Yeah. Okay. And favorite character, Cameron, and why do you think it's an underrated Disney film?
Oh goodness, how much time do we have left on this, Chad?
I don't know.
So it's the riskiest film Disney has ever made for many reasons, not least of which is it addresses very difficult topics of the benefits and detractments of religion, of societal influence. It addresses racism, including inherent racism, which is something that I think maybe one other film has done successfully in the Disney canon, that'd be Zootopia. And it took that long
Yeah.
between them to be able to do it. But most importantly, it has the best music of any Disney film. Fight me. It's
it's
the
definitely
best.
up there.
It's the absolute best. And the best character, if I have to put my hat in the ring, is Judge Claude Frodo. Frodo. You remember Frodo Baggins? Judge Claude Frollo. Simply because he is a villain that is just a person, and that's what makes him so truly evil. And also he's fallible in a way that we are all susceptible to be fallible, and I think that makes for a much more interesting villain than, say, super villains or something. It's a guy that is susceptible to the same things everybody else is, and unfortunately fails.
I agree. That's,
Even
I
though
was gonna
he
say those
muted
exact
himself.
words.
I think Cameron muted himself. Let's see if I can't unmute him because
No, I'm on a mute. If you unmuted me, you muted me because I'm controlling my mute with my
okay. You disappeared for a second, but all right. I agree with
happens.
all of that. Brian, who's your favorite character? And do you agree?
I have to
it's
go with the.
underrated?
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely one of my favorites going up, partially just because of the music, which is, I agree, outstanding. But favorite character has to be one of the gargoyles. I don't know if I can pick one, but they just add so much fun to little piece to really offset everything that's going on there. I just love their characters and the way they interact.
Yeah, it would not work if they didn't have them.
And if you want a trip, go look up the actors who play the gargoyles. It's really fun.
It's true. Katie.
Well, I know two of them are Victor and Hugo, which is a great play there too.
Yeah.
You can unmute yourself and tell us who your
You have
favorite
permission.
character is.
Are you sure you want to play this game? I've never seen this.
And wow.
Okay, that was a good answer. Okay.
We just
I don't
lost
want to be
half
on
of our.
Katie's team anymore.
If I had a Nerf gun right now, I would be pegging you right now.
There's like 3 of them right over there. Tyler, favorite character, and do you agree this is an underrated Disney film? I actually,
super. What?
maybe that's the rule, is if Katie hasn't seen it, that makes it eligible to be an underrated Disney animated film.
Definitely underrated.
Yeah.
And Frollo is also my favorite because he's, I think, one of the most terrifying Disney villains we've had. Like, he's human, but he's so horrible.
100%.
So,
Totally. All right. Haley.
I think my favorite would be Esmeralda, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's like the best character in the movie because Frollo is so real and terrifying. But I was just obsessed with Esmeralda growing up.
Yeah, favorites allowed. That's, I think, totally cool. Mikey.
I would have to go with my main man Hugo. He's just
Yeah.
that wisecracking guy that I identify with. You know, he's the comic relief, and
Do you also have a crush on a goat?
maybe.
Can I pick the goat as my favorite? I thought the goat was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Goat is a great
Or the
character.
little puppet dude. That, I mean, I like the puppet.
Oh, Clopan.
Well, Clopan is the puppeteer. I was speaking of the puppet on his hand.
Clopanito.
Sure, we'll go with that. And Mikey, do you agree that it's an underrated Disney film?
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
Okay, so we got unanimous consent on that one. And who gets to pick a movie next? Who's left?
Tyler?
Tyler, you're up.
ooh. All right. I'm gonna go with The Fox and the Hound.
Ah, good choice.
Because one, we don't see it really anywhere ever. It's not in the parks. It's not, I don't know, it's not really anywhere. And also, like, it's super sad. It teaches you a lot about, like, growing up and friendships and, you know, realistically, children, you're not going to talk to a lot of people from your childhood when you grow up. And that's sad. This movie tells you about it.
Wow. I'm glad you
Yeah.
didn't go last.
Quarantine.
Fun.
I was going to say Hunchback, but I had to go dark. So
Okay, that's fair.
Darn it, I don't know
And
which
favorite
one's
character,
darker.
Tyler. That's true. Favorite
I didn't
character, Tyler?
Todd. Why not?
Obviously. Okay, Haley.
I don't know if I could choose between Todd and Copper, honestly. I love them both. So I will
Okay.
pass it along to someone
And you
else.
agree it's an underrated Disney animated film?
Yes.
Katie, do you want to tell us that you haven't seen this, or have you seen it? She hasn't seen it, so she's hiding under the desk. Brian, go ahead.
I think I'd have to go with Chief. He's that old dog that
Yep.
he thinks he knows everything, and you're like, oh, you have to earn yourself to sit on the front, you know. And then Todd or Copper ends up doing that, and he takes it. He's a good, faithful old dog, and I love his voice.
Okay. Very good. Mikey.
Well, I was also going to say Chief, because you know it's
Because he's a good character.
he really is. I mean, it's a great dynamic between an old seasoned hunting dog and the new little pup. You know, so I think it's an interesting dynamic there.
Cool. I'd agree with all of you on everything you've said. I'd probably go Chief also, just because I always thought he was a cool character. Rather than picking my favorite underrated Disney animated film, I'm going to throw a couple honorable mentions out
Oh,
there.
I don't get to pick one for Fox and the
Oh,
Hound
I'm
then?
sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I went across the screen and skipped you.
Everybody's screen order is different, so I'm having a hard time tracking your order. My favorite character is Big Mama, which is the owl.
Yes.
Mhm.
Nice. All right. So honorable mentions, and you guys can agree or disagree. Put your thumbs up, your thumbs down, I guess, because that'll be the quickest way to do this. For an honorable mention, do you think Robin Hood should be considered? No, yes, 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 yes. So yes, it is. Katie, what do you think?
Brand's thumb disappeared.
Hasn't seen it, so yes, it is.
I don't think it's underrated. That's the problem.
Because nobody knows it, or what?
No, because it has a popularity in the zeitgeist that does not qualify it as underrated. It's a great film.
Okay. Lady and the Tramp. No. Okay. How about what's another one? Sword in the Stone is making a comeback, but I would say traditionally it's been underrated, wouldn't you? Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Unanimous. Have you seen it? Okay, Katie hasn't seen it. It counts. The Black Cauldron. Nobody brought that up. I was kind of surprised.
Wait, no.
It's underrated intentionally, huh? Sorry,
I
Mike.
thought we were agreeing that it's underrated.
It is
Well,
underrated.
That's one I haven't
but that
seen yet,
doesn't-
so
That doesn't. mean it's a
You
good
haven't
film,
seen
right?
it?
I have
That's
not
surprising.
seen it yet.
Basil of
Not
what's the Great Mouse Detective?
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of.
That was gonna be my second, or I guess third
Yeah.
choice. But
I'll get
Yeah.
that one.
What, what about Home on the Range?
Ugh.
I'm going to be Katie and just disappear.
Oh, okay.
Does
Um,
bad
I actually
mean
have not seen that one.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Are there
think I
any
saw it once.
others that we might have missed that are underrated films? Let me check the Disney.
Treasure Planet, maybe.
I
Treasure
would say
Planet
another
popped into my head.
honorable mention. I do have another honorable mention, and
Go
I
for it.
think Tangled is not rated as high as it should be. I think it's underrated. It kind of got overshadowed by Frozen, but it's one of my favorites of the newer ones.
Okay,
And it's number 50.
I think that's fair.
Number 50.
Okay, that was very good. All right, so going down the line now that we've heard them all, and I'll have to look at this. Starting with Haley, which one of all that you've heard tonight do you think is the most underrated Disney animated film?
That's a lot of pressure to really like start off
know.
with.
We can make Tyler go first if you want.
Tyler can go first.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
with Cameron and the Hunchback because that was
That's
gonna be my
right.
choice
Okay, two
anyway.
for
So
two for
Correct
Hunchback.
decision.
All right. Anybody have a counter argument for why it shouldn't be Hunchback and it should be something else?
I'd like to jump in here.
Yeah.
No.
I would love if you
Okay.
changed all of our minds. Anybody have a different movie that they think is more underrated than Hunchback?
I mean, you're wrong if so, but
I actually agree with you, Cameron, because I think it's the best movie that people just don't watch. Like
Yep.
it's a ridiculously good movie. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got lots
had a
of heart.
fantastic ranch show.
Yeah, it had a fantastic
Yeah.
show. It needs to have a fantastic Broadway show someday, I think.
speaking of which, here's a true Cameron fact. I was on a Disney cruise earlier this year, and there is a show moment in one of them that involves a Quasimodo singing Out There.
Oh,
And
nice.
I wept like a child on a boat with strangers. It was fantastic.
Surrounded by other children. Great.
I would have loved Animazement, Cameron, back in the day.
Probably.
They
Well, Festival of
That's a
Fools.
great moment for Hunchback. Yeah.
that was a Hunchback had a fantastic moment. All right, so do we all agree that Hunchback is the most underrated Disney animated film?
I can
I'll go
agree
with
with
that.
that.
Yes,
Does
yes.
Haley not agree?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right, Haley.
It's not- It's not that it's not deserving of the love or anything else. It's just the fact that like I feel like there's a cult following for it that doesn't make it
Underrated enough.
underrated to me, because I feel like it's acknowledged and still in more ways than other films that are out there.
So what
Out
would you
there.
say is a counterbalance, or what's a counter movie to Hunchback of Notre Dame? Because I think you actually have an argument there.
And why are you wrong?
And who hurt you?
I don't know what would be different. I just feel like for the fact that like we have had shows in the past for Hunchback, and it does get acknowledged, like you mentioned, Animazement, Festival of Fools. We've had it at like the events that have happened recently for was it 90s Night that they were at, whatever ones they've
90s
been
Night,
at.
yeah.
They even had their appearance recently in Disney World for like the 5K or whatever. And then it has the Music Box and Fantasy Fair. So it's still acknowledged in different ways out there that other like You won't. I'm not saying Hunt or Home on the Range isn't the most underrated here because it's not deserving it, but I'm saying you can't find a lick of that in the parks. Okay.
That is true. So I think using that logic, what is the most underrated film? Because by its definition, that would mean it's getting no love, and it should be getting the love.
But when it would have to be a good movie, and I don't think Home on the Range.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm
my
not saying
arguments for
Home on the Range is that.
You
but I
heard it
would
here
probably go
first. Haley
for-
thinks Home on the Range is a better film than Hunchback of Notre Dame.
But
Please
but
no.
like, what would
It's gonna
you
be a long
say
2 weeks.
then? Because I'm actually leaning towards the one that's starting to get some love in the park is something like Sword in the Stone or
Yeah.
Rescuers Down Under, which actually are very enjoyable films that don't get as much love as they should.
I mean, you could say an extremely goofy movie and be more correct. I'm just saying.
They had a segment in D23 Expo. It doesn't count.
For an extremely goofy movie?
Oh, extremely goofy movie.
Yeah.
But is it that good?
I think it is. It's a non-musical after a musical. It's really weird.
I don't think that one like gets me that doesn't make me feel as much as some of the other ones do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
of
saying-
like when I was talking about Rescuers Down Under, there's like that quintessential moment when he's flying on the eagle that just kind of sweeps you away, that has the Disney magic to it, that I didn't really feel a moment like that with the extremely goofy movie.
The disco scene, come on.
Okay, so I'm hearing a little bit of a leaning towards Rescuers Down Under. Is there another movie that's truly underrated that doesn't get any love and should?
There's cult followings of every Disney film. That's the hard part for us to parse.
So
is that
which
we're
one's
so,
the least?
Oh,
Bambi?
there's some diehard Bambi fans though.
And they're in the parks. Like you see Thumper in the park pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So is it Rescuers Down Under?
It kind of sounds like it.
I think we've reached that consensus. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a sequel.
Oh man, why did you? Maybe it should be no. Rescuers is dark. I don't know.
We're doing
do
a
we think-
sequel.
There we should have opened. That's not animated though. Maybe we'll get into Muppets next time.
Yeah.
All right. So we think it's going to be Rescuers Down Under. Is that what we're kind of consensus? Is that our consensus?
I guess
Sure.
so.
Yeah.
Cameron's not happy
Sounds
about
good
it,
to me.
but he sees the logic, right?
I see the logic, but I'm human, not Vulcan. So
Beautiful. All right. Well, this has been our first DAPS Magic Live while we're under quarantine. Hopefully we'll have more. We don't actually know who's going to be on these at any given time. We have a group thing and at like, was it 6 or something or 5 o'clock? I was like, hey, do you guys want to try a thing tonight? And people did. So we will do more of these. If you like them, let us know in the comments. We'll hopefully get better at them with the technology. And we are going to say goodnight for now. And we look forward to seeing you again on the next DAPS Magic Live.
Bye.
Bye.